여러분 안녕하세요. 미치쌤 here. 영어를 꽤 잘하는데 왜 해외에서는 내 의견에 힘을 못 받았을까요? That's the question everybody has in their mind when they're having a meeting in English, if it's not your first language, right? I'm sure you've experienced this problem. You're sitting in a meeting, everybody's talking, it's in English, so people are giving their opinions. You're with native English speakers, perhaps, but you also want to give your opinion. You can't get it in. You can't get everybody to listen, right? That's hard to do. You don't want to sound rude, like you're interrupting, right? But how can you get your voice heard and your opinion heard? So today we're going to discuss the difference between junior English and executive English. Okay, I've got some other videos on this topic of how to say your opinion in a meeting as well, where I give you some specific phrases to use. So go back to my channel and check for those videos. But today we're going to talk specifically about the difference between junior English and executive English. In other words, sometimes if your English is not at the level it needs to be, your voice will get ignored, right? And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's just the English that you're using is showing what we say a junior English level, okay? That doesn't mean beginner, but it means like a junior level worker, right? Someone who's not really a leader. It comes across, and it's just because of language, mostly, okay? Maybe some body language is involved, maybe voice intonation, which we'll talk about. But generally, the problem is not you, probably. The problem is language. English is your second language, okay? No problem. That's understandable. People understand that. But in the middle of a meeting, when people are giving their opinions, sometimes things are emotional. Well, people aren't really thinking about, your feelings or, oh, maybe we should listen to you and hear what you have to say. Sometimes people will just, we say run over you. They'll just kind of go right over you and forget about you. Okay, and that's not what we want. So instead of junior level English, we want to change to executive level English, which means when you speak English, you sound more like a leader. Okay, now this week on my blog, if you haven't seen my blog, go to Naver and just search Michi's Daily English. Michi's Daily English. Michi's Daily English is a blog where I post Monday through Friday every day, different topics, different things, but a lot of good business English phrases and ways for you to improve your executive English. So please check that out if you haven't. And on this channel, this YouTube channel, of course, lots of these kind of videos as well, video lessons for you to learn these things. So, like it, subscribe it, and then keep coming back to watch these videos where you can improve your executive English. Okay, so let's talk about it today. So first of all, there's kind of a trap that we get into sometimes with English where we say phrases like, I think, or maybe, too much, okay? Saying phrases like, I think, or maybe, makes you sound like an entry-level employee. It makes you sound like you just got there, you're a new worker, so you don't have enough confidence to say your real opinion. And that is what we call junior level English. It's not executive English. We want to speak in a way that is clear and confident. Okay, so I did a video on this last week where I talked about some phrases you can use, so check that out. But, instead of I think or maybe, just say it directly. Say, in my opinion, I believe this, or, I really suggest that we do this. Okay, so a little stronger, in other words, not rude, not too strong, but in a polite way, we can show executive presence and executive English. Okay, another thing, which I also talked about in the video last week, is intonation. Intonation, up-talking, we call it up-talking, rising at the end of every sentence with your voice tone. It makes it sound like you're asking a question, or it makes it sound like you're asking for permission. Okay? And as I said in the video last week, we don't want to always sound like we're asking for permission or a question because that makes us sound like a junior level English employee, we want to have executive presence. We want to have executive English. So instead of saying, for example, maybe we should do this, say, I really believe we should do this. Okay, see the difference? Maybe we should do this. Sounds like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We don't need to listen to him. If you say, I really suggest that we should do this, then people say, well, sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Maybe we should do this. Okay? So that's another thing. Another very important step is passive versus active sentences. Okay? Sometimes I hear students use a lot of passive sentences. Okay? But passive sentences can be good for updates about work or something. But when you're talking in general conversation, planning meetings, you don't want to use passive sentence too much. Okay? So for example, instead of saying mistakes were made, okay, that's a passive sentence. Mistakes were made, the PP there, were made, past participle, that makes it passive. By who, right? That's the subject. The subject is missing in a passive sentence. So in a passive sentence, there's no emphasis on the subject, okay? Which sounds very much like someone who doesn't want to kind of take responsibility, okay? An executive English speaking person is going to say it like this: I take full responsibility. Okay, so let's say there's a problem, someone made a mistake. Don't say, mistakes were made, nobody's fault, right? No, say, listen, I take full responsibility for this issue. Okay, that means you are actively going to fix this problem. Okay, and that makes you much more of an executive kind of leader type personality in your workplace. Okay, your boss will say, wow, look at this guy. Everybody makes mistakes, but the person who owns the mistake and then tries to fix the mistake and says to everybody that's what they're going to do, that's a leader. That's the kind of person that will get a promotion in the company. Okay, so those are just some tips to try to help you with this executive English. Of course, as I said, all of my videos are about doing these kind of things, executive English tips for you. So, subscribe on YouTube and try to keep up with these videos. I'll keep giving you them every week. Also, I have recently released kind of a masterclass, an online course that you can take. This course, I'm going to make more. There's going to be more, but the first course that I've made is called, The Art of Small Talk. How to, in a business setting or social setting, it covers both, how to be confident when you talk to someone and make small talk with them. Okay, so that course is available online. It's 5 videos, lessons, and each lesson comes with about 10 different activities, worksheets, vocabulary, grammar, things that will help you to really, really improve your small talk, okay? And soon I'm going to be also making ones for this executive English, business English, and other English conversation courses as well. You can get all of those on my website, mitchinenglishcoach.com. Right now it's 50% off, so hurry up and sign up for that course on my website. And as I said, keep watching these videos. I'll give you more tips. Don't just speak English, speak with authority. Speak with authority, executive authority. Okay, I'll see you in the next class, everybody.